I would like to begin this review by saying that I realize that the majority of the initial reviews for this film have been stellar, and I'm about to run in the other direction. But I have ample proof as to why, and I'd also like to say I'm getting a little tired of some critics giving a free pass to films that, are such a mess from a craft perspective, a storytelling perspective, but, again, saying that's okay because they're so stylistically impressive. That's not enough. This isn't a style, if someone wanted to just impress with style, I guess they could do just an art exhibit, but that's undercutting art as well. Everything is supposed to be able to have meaning and operate on different levels, and this movie fails to do so spectacularly. Okay, let's get to my notes. All right, so where I had wanted to start the review was by saying I did not appreciate being tricked into attending a satanic cult meeting. I was like, whoa! It's like walking through a door innocently. Someone's like, come to this party. And you're like, okay. And then you're like, wow, I am so upset that I'm here. This is not how I intended to spend my evening. I hope nothing follows me home. I guess you could say to some degree the movie succeeded because it creeped me out wildly. But anyway, to make matters worse, not only was I tricked into attending a satanic cult meeting, but it started without me. That's right. I think the most important parts, and I suspect the most interesting parts of Hereditary, happen before our movie begins. So that was also very frustrating. And as a result, I was reminded when I was thinking about this movie of what teachers often say to their students. It's not enough to have the right answer on your exam. You must also show the work. Now, I'd always assumed, as I'm sure many of you did, that was just to make sure you didn't cheat. However, this movie, so I guess that's another point for this movie. I guess if you really want to boil it down, I feel bad because this movie, I think, and the writer-director Ari Aster have a lot of potential, but this, someone needs to call him on his crap, and that's exactly what I'm doing. But anyway, this movie made me realize that you need to show your work, not just to make sure you're not cheating, but so that it's to ensure that you understand how to get the right answer, that you have a mastery of the craft, of whatever's being tested. And in this case, it's visual storytelling. And while writer-director Ari Aster, making his feature film debut, is clearly a master of style, his storytelling skills need just so much work. In fact, I'd say they're almost remedial. It's not good. Now, granted, if you watch my reviews regularly, you know that I prefer stories with a strong narrative structure. And make no mistake, weaving those takes considerable skill. Some people like to be like, oh, it's more difficult to tell an abstract story. It's cheating to tell a story with a beginning, middle, and end. First of all, it's not in any shape or form. But that's why screenwriters are celebrated. It's why they give out awards for it. It's why people are so impressed with three-act structures and payoffs in the third act, et cetera, et cetera. It's a commendable skill, and one I think that Ari Aster should not be so quick to dismiss. But that being said, I understand the integrity of more abstract stories. But if you're not going to work the right side of my brain like you do with a strong narrative story, you need to work the left side of my brain with an abstract story. And by that, I mean eliciting a strong emotional response. And my only response to this movie was that it was a ripoff of Rosemary's Baby. And also, the biggest case of The Emperor Has No Clothes since Mother. And I chalked Darren Aronofsky's folly up to hubris. But with Aster, again, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying it's an experience. However, I think there's a little bit of hubris in there that he felt that he could do abstract right out of the gate. I was talking to a friend actually recently who pointed out that Picasso had to learn to paint traditionally before so famously experimenting. And someone should tell that story to Ari Aster. In fact, though, back to Mother, at least Mother was more original, and also its Bible metaphor provided some sort of spine. Here, you're not left with burning or compelling questions, but more, what the f***? Are you kidding me with this shit? Those kind of questions, right? Like, I can't believe you're trying to pass this off as, accomplished filmmaking, and that anybody would try and help you with that. Now, I gave this movie a lot of leeway while I was watching it, so perhaps that's why I felt particularly cheated at the end when there was no payoff. I was like, I trusted you, Ari. But because, again, it has amazing style throughout. So you're like, wow, it seems like I'm in the hands of a master. I must be. You're not. But Colin Stetson's throbbing score is impressive. Visually, Aster has quite the command of the camera and top-notch framing throughout. The movie looks like it should be really good, but it's just not. And the family house, by the way, is a gift from the location gods. Wow, a little bit also like Mother. plus the miniatures throughout the film. Toni Collette's character makes miniatures for a living. Like, no, that's her art. And they're captivating and creepy as intended, but I never felt that the movie brought them home, the miniatures home, within the story itself or as a storytelling device. They just, I felt, ultimately ended up being like something to bulk up the movie, right? They're like, there's not actually a lot here, but what if we put a bunch of miniatures in the film? That'll distract people for a while, right? And it has, I believe, it's, again, The Emperor Has No Clothes. It's kind of tricked some people into feeling this is, I think, a better film than it is. I also thought, by the way, the acting was quite good. I've never seen Gabriel Byrne play a regular nice guy before. Like, I was like, when he first came out, I was like, is that Gabriel Byrne? And it was, and he's pretty good at being a nice regular guy. Although about halfway through the movie, he did seem to give up on his American accent. He's like, I've had enough of this boy. Alex Wolff made me care deeply about his character, which I think might have been a mistake on the part of Aster, the writer-director, considering where he took things. And then as for Toni Collette, well, she held this crazy story together as long as she could. God bless her, acting hard. All right. Now also, I realized that in horror movies, characters need to make dumb decisions in order for the story to progress, right? Although here, I thought the characters made decisions that were just too dumb. The lack of self-preservation, with no reasoning as to why there was a lack of self-preservation, was infuriating. And also, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but let's just say one instance is, I think the carelessness of constantly not having an EpiPen around would be a solid enough case alone to take these kids away from their parents. So while everyone is saying the Hereditary is the new Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby, I would urge you to at least watch those films in addition to this one to better understand the difference between genuine filmmaking and flashy imitators. Oh yeah, I went there. If you really like, and I think you can, I would like to say that I'm sure some people in the comments are like, you just didn't get the movie, Grace. Let me connect all the dots for you. I think that the dots aren't connectable enough. I think that they threw out a bunch of stuff there, or Ari Aster threw out a bunch of stuff there that you could be like, oh, did this mean this? And is this what you intended there? But if there's not a definitive takeaway, or again, a really strong emotional response, it just doesn't work. Again, I don't see the craftsmanship here. I think I see an imitator, as I said. So that's my review of Hereditary. I'm excited to debate it with you down below. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.